No way. I like can't say I've ever encountered a groundhog. I really just thought there was the one and only Phil.
I think I think there's like two.
There's two, the one that tore up your tree and then Phil.
Right.
I'm Brooklyn Chaney and I am Boise State's own from University Pulse. So thank you so much for meeting with me today. I've been excited to pick your brain. But my
Yeah.
first question for you today is right off the bat, if you had to replace the faces of Mount Rushmore with the faces of musicians, who would you pick?
Oh wow, that's such a great question. No one's ever asked me that. I would do Willie Nelson. I would do Jerry Garcia. I would do Ray Charles would be good up there. Who? And then Mozart, even though he's not from America, we would do
Oh, that's
Mozart.
awesome.
Right, that's like Mozart.
Okay, well, next up, I would love to know more about your upbringing and background. So I know you grew up in and around Nashville, and I would love to know like what shaped like what lessons did you learn from playing at those kind of Broadway bars that still help shape your live shows today?
Oh yeah. There's like this little dance that happens between playfulness and almost between comedy and drama on some level, but it's like there's like an element of theater in that, but like the comedy in music is more or less playfulness, and I guess the drama is perhaps something like professionalism. That might not be the word,
Hmm.
but it was there was always certain times in the show of when to relax and when to just have fun. But then there were also elements at that time too of like always being on time, always having the gear ready, always knowing the material. If you don't know the material, you know, knowing how to listen and when to play and when not to play, when to sing, when not to sing, and um, it's hard to put into words, but I would say it was something. I would say the biggest lesson was perhaps just learning how to walk that line between the comedy and drama of music.
Similarly, so live shows are a huge part of your identity. What's something fans and just like normal Joes, regular Joes like me don't realize what's going on during those extended jams? Like a question I've always had when I'm like look or watching live jazz performances or whatnot. It's like when do y'all like know when to like stop or pick things up? Like you probably have to read each other a lot. I guess I'm just curious about that process and what I don't know, maybe we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think something interesting that really happens is the less that you listen to yourself, the more unified the performance becomes. It wasn't very obvious to me at first that that was the case, but it's become increasingly obvious to me that the
Mhm.
less that I listen to what I'm doing and the more I listen to everybody else, the more unified everything becomes. And, you know, if you think about that, that's really no different than just like a conversation. It just like a conversation right now. If I were to just plow through everything you're saying and not listen, or vice versa, we wouldn't have a productive time here. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that. That's super cool thinking about music and playing as a conversation. That's super neat. I like that a lot.
It's like the music doesn't use words, but it triggers emotions that words also trigger, but it doesn't have the same what is that? What is that? Like people, you know, when you hear certain words and sometimes they can rub you the wrong way, you know.
Yeah,
Well, and then so if a speaker is or if somebody is writing a story or if they're using words to convey a point, and if they use a word that is kind of charged with something, then the reader might intellectualize that word and they might not actually feel it. But with music, specifically with notes and rhythms, you can still communicate these really deep and complex and authentic feelings, but they don't carry the same. Uh, they carry something that's different than words, and I feel like people you can let more notes and music into your heart more so than you can certain words.
for sure.
So it seems like music and rhythm can be yeah, it can be more effective that way.
Yeah, in a sense, I feel like music and I don't know, just the notes that are played can hit harder and deeper because it's not necessarily like, I don't know, you can only express so much with words. Well, you can express a lot, of course, but the music is just something you like really feel deep down. That's way
That's
cool.
a lot.
And that's kind of similar to my next question I had
Hmm.
for you. You mentioned like the cosmic sound and the cosmic energy. So Cosmic Country is kind of your signature sound. I'm curious, what does Cosmic Country mean to you?
Uh, I think I feel that it's a combination of the heavens and the earth, so to speak, figuratively speaking,
Hmm.
you know, um, and just trying to dance between those two. I think morally, that's kind of what everybody is doing every day in their lives, you know. Like if we were just to instinctively act as if we were only planetary planetary beings, we would just be impulsive animals. And so there's something, there's an indwelling spirit that's like within our heart and our soul and our mind that's always causing us to dance between the options of the unknown and the cosmos and the necessities of the earth. And so that's what a lot of the content material is about in Cosmic Country. Like um, there's songs about, you know, trusting the rhythm of your soul and dancing the desert of worry away in your life. Then there's songs about, this long, everlasting trail back home to returning to a place that you've never been, but that you feel that you're from. But then there's also, less, less like less heavy things as well. Like we have songs, uh, that like sing about friends that have like self-destructive substance problems in their life, and we make like a joke about it, and then
Mhm.
uh, and then there's like just dance songs like called Boogeyman that we play too that are just funny.
Yeah.
So it's like we're trying to really capture the entire bandwidth of human experience in one show.
Yeah.
Just from the very funny base things to like the existentially spiritual, liberating things as well.
That is so beautiful. Similarly with that, I would love to know more about your songwriting writing process because obviously the music aspect and like you're a killer guitarist and that's very important to your work, but the lyrics and the stories are also very central as well. So I guess I'm just curious what comes first in your songwriting process, the chicken or the egg, the riff or like the story?
Yeah, it's a little different really each time. I like that it's different each time. I
Mhm.
remember when I remember at first when I was really young, I tried my hand at one process, where like all the words came first and then the songs came second. And then I remember specifically for a period of my life too, where it was the opposite. And recently, really not that long ago, probably like in the past year, uh, I started thinking, I think I started realizing that there's many processes. Um, and it's per song, it's per process. And
Mhm.
that idea came from Bob Weir. There was an interview where Bob Weir was talking about how songs are beings unto themselves. And I started thinking about that, and it was like, yeah, well, every human has a different process in which that they arrive at the truth of their lives. Everybody has a different way. So it would make sense that songs all have different ways too. Um, and I like that too because it allows us in Cosmic too to have just like a vast pool of processes that we can draw from. We can go into the studio with no material and in 3 hours come out with a song. That's a process. Another process is um, sometimes there's just an acoustic version of a song, and then we all sit down as a group, and then the song comes out, and it's like completely different
Yeah.
than what it was before. Like a song off Horizons that is like a song called Chore. Chore was one of those songs where it was just like completely different um, than how it was written, really in a lot of ways. Um, yeah, so there's just a ton of different processes, and I think I just try to hold the space, and everyone in the band does too. You just try to hold the space to see what the song is really saying. So there is one process that we use for all the songs that is the same, and that is that we play it live a ton before we really ever
Hmm.
record it.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. Okay.
yeah, that's really, and that's like increasingly a very rare thing
Yeah,
for a lot of.
'cause I feel like a lot of times, I mean, at least from my perspective, it seems like an artist will record an album and then release it on whichever platform of their choosing. And then from there, they kind of tour that album or like past songs and whatnot. So that's so interesting that you kind of perform, test it out, or I don't know, maybe test is the wrong word, but perform
It
to
is,
a live audience and then can kind of derive a different meaning.
it's no, it very much so is testing. I think the idea. I always liked how comedians like test jokes before they record a special. I remember one night we wanted to, well, I don't think it was a fort. But we had this new song we were trying to play. And
Uh-huh.
so for encore that night, we actually played the song twice and we played both versions. We played the fast version and the slow version. And then we asked the audience which version they liked more.
Oh, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
What did they say?
They like the more country, upbeat
Okay, good stuff.
bluegrass version more.
Well, next up,
Yeah, well
College
said.
Radio
Well said.
does love discovery. And I'm curious if there's any artists that you've been listening to right now
Yeah.
that deserve more attention. And similarly, I would love to know what your number one artist was if you do like the streaming services.
Oh yeah, well, my number one artist last year was Marty Robbins. I just love Marty Robbins. There's like a there's like this there's like a musical theater element to his storytelling. But it all takes place in this like archetypal Western framework. So it's like Western theater. And the stories are heroes' stories. And they're these tragic stories of murder and love and lust and violence. And then also like liberation and adventure. So that really inspires me. I just really love how visceral those stories are on his records. They're kind of like Bob Dylan songs on some level. And I think Bob Dylan is my second artist. And I think my third artist was Hank Williams Sr. I, for obvious reasons. A new artist that I really love um, right now who's been. I'll share a couple. Um, one in the country space is my friend Kenny Whitmire. Kenny is he sounds a lot like Keith Whitley and Merle Haggard. So
Okay.
he's got like a great like classic traditional country sound. And then there's this other that is they're kind of they're not new. It's actually not new. It's quite old, but I just discovered it, and it's
One more
his
time.
name is King Sunny. His name's King Sunny Ade.
King Sunny a day.
King Sun. Yeah, Ade is Ade. And he's a South African artist from the '70s, and it's just amazing dance music.
Yeah.
Like it's great to turn on like after the show once everyone's hanging and chilling for a couple hours.
Okay, well, if fans could know one thing about you, what would you want them to know?
That I try to give everything that I receive
Mhm.
to my very best that I can.
Last question for you today is that you're on tour now, which I know is a lot. You're going all over the country, but what is up next for Daniel Donato?
Uh, well, I did just get a haircut, so that's not up next. Um,
And it looks fabulous.
Thanks. These AirPods aren't really doing me any justice. I'm trying to. One of my resolutions this year was I'm trying to answer simple questions like that very simply because
Mhm.
in a lot of my previous interviews, I always answer them like way too deeply.
Yeah.
Uh,
It can be simple, like, I don't know, taking a dog on a walk or something.
okay, yeah, yeah, okay, that would be fun. I'd like to take a dog on a walk. I'd like to get a dog.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I really like dogs. I like dogs a lot more than cats. But
Really?
even yeah, but they Nathan and Bronco, who are sitting here with me, they both have cats. And yeah, I don't really like cats all that much.
See, I
It,
love cats. I got a cat named Cowboy at home.
oh, that's hard. That's
Yeah,
okay. That would be next for me. I'd like to get a dog and give it a Western name.
yeah,
That'd be next.
that's awesome.
Maybe maybe we can incentivize listeners to send in recommended names for my future dog.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Okay,
Yeah,
comment down
and
below names for the future dog.
I always thought if I had a dog, he'd be like more of a simple man. Like he would have like three responses for everything.
Hmm.
He'd be like, "Yeah," or like, "That what are you gonna do? That's the way it is."
I like it.
Darn tootin'.
Yeah,
Fine, what's next?
yeah.
TBD on what?
Up next, dog.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely that. Up next, dog.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time today. Great questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for, I don't know, hopping on this call and talking with me today. I really appreciate it. And I don't know, people are excited for you here in Boise, Idaho. So I hope everyone welcomes you with a very warm welcoming, and I hope you get to, I don't know, experience a little bit of the city before you gotta head out.
Yeah, are there any good restaurants or
There's this one cool bar if you're into that called Pin Gillies. Sometimes they have some live music there too, which is fun. And
oh,
it's got a like very cool like you step into this bar and it feels very westerny. Like
I
it's
know
like a
this place.
saloon. It's really cool. I think you may
Yeah.
enjoy it.
So right after I turned 21, I was on this was I'm 30 now, so but um right after I turned 21, I was on tour with a band. And these guys were like all in their mid 30s. And
Hmm.
I was 21 and they were like severe drinkers. Like
Hmm.
they would drink at like noon. They would start drinking whiskey at noon. But we went to that bar
Oh, no
when we
way.
when we played Boise, and I remember like two guys in the band getting like blackout drunk that night and like them getting kicked out of the bar. I remember that bar. I forgot that was in Boise. I'm definitely going there.
Thank you again for meeting with me, and I hope very safe travels for you and your team.
Yeah, right on. Likewise.
Okay, happy Groundhog's Day.